The young man in front of me suddenly had an idea. He was so naive that he tried to use the sun's light to directly hatch the egg. Can he succeed? The first step in hatching is to prepare all the items. The young man prepared an egg, a bowl, some fine sand, and a marker. The young man poured the sand into the bowl and put the egg in it after preparing. To verify the experiment's accuracy, the young man deliberately marked the eggshell to avoid confusion with a cat for a prince. After this, the young man poured tap water into the sand basin to prevent quick evaporation. After carefully burying the egg in the fine sand, the sunlight hatching experiment was officially launched. At first, in order to prevent the eggs from being cooked directly, the young man took a piece of rag to cover it, and then put a large basin on it. After finishing this, the rest was left to time. 4 hours later, the young man came forward and presented the egg. To prevent rapid temperature drop at night, the young man also brought a blanket to cover the hatching, as even heating is required. It must be said that the young man's preparations were still sufficient. On the 8th day, in order to prevent accidents, the young man took the egg into the house and began to check it. He intended to use light to observe the embryo's development. Under the light, the veins inside the egg were clearly visible, indicating the presence of a new life in the egg. After confirming the successful hatching, the man quickly returned the egg to the sand basin for it to continue enjoying the sun. After 20 days, the young man wanted to see the current hatching status of the egg, but when he just lifted the rag, I was surprised to find that the eggshell had begun to crack. The chick was about to hatch, and the young man was very happy after waiting for so long. I quickly put the egg back. Sure enough, the next morning, when the boy went to check the egg again, the little guy had successfully broken out of the shell and was lying quietly on the fine sand. The egg the boy marked hatched after 21 days, making his experiment a perfect success. The chick was tiny, but it had a very loud voice. The few feathers on its body also indicated its recent arrival. To protect the baby from getting cold, the boy borrowed his daughter's woolen hat as a temporary windproof shield. A few days later, the little guy officially grew up, and the hair on his body became more and more dense. He looked healthy. The boy's method is effective, simple, and convenient. Does anyone know what breed this black little fellow is?